some people are very sensitive, and yes, they could feel, oh, you must be working on my shoulder, or you must be working on my back because I can feel something there. If we can get everybody to look at page 4 on the handout, this is the basic theory that people work on when we're explaining how reflexology works, and it's called the zone theory. So the zones run down the body, and so the big toe on the foot is also the same as the thumb on the hand, and then we go up to the head. So there are 5 zones in each side of the body, making a total of 10 zones.
Okay.
And this is where I think reflexology is so marvelous. On illustration 2, we can see that the organs are superimposed on top of that. Now, we have so many health issues now that don't just affect one system. They'll affect many different parts of the system. Chronic fatigue doesn't really affect just one system. A person can be almost disabled with something like that. Lupus, many syndromes, as they're called, affect different parts of the body. Now, when you rely on using the zone theory, any organ that's in a particular zone that is not working properly will be affected. So a lot of these new diseases that are being found can more easily be explained by using the zone theory and reflexology than they can with modern medicine.
Yes.
So the picture that we see on the bottom of the foot is the zones. So if somebody had a problem with any area in the zone on the body, in illustration 1 or 2, I, as a reflexologist, would work the corresponding zone, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, on either of the feet. And when I worked that, I would feel sensitivities in the areas where there were blockages in the body. And by working out those sensitivities, you can help the body to balance itself, or homeostasis. Homeostasis is simply a posh word, which means being in a dynamic state of balance, which is what all of us hope to achieve. It's that simplicity of working with reflexology that I love, because even if you haven't been classically trained, you can still press around and work on somebody's foot and have an effect to their benefit.
So how does it work though? No. Yeah, how does it work?
Well, there are many theories about how it works. From there are crystals in the feet to can I just tell you a story?
Of course.
It makes me emotional even every time I tell it. There was a young lad who was in a motorcycle accident. And he was badly injured, and he had his leg amputated, his left leg amputated. He was a very athletic type of person, and he really enjoyed his sports. And he was devastated that he had been injured in such a way. But he suffered from something called phantom limb pain. Now, phantom limb pain is when the leg had been removed, but the pain that the patient feels from the leg, it's as if it was still there. And it was so extreme. When I was called in to see him, this was 3 years after his accident. He was on morphine, and this was in England. The hospital had put him on a suicide watch because he was so despondent. He didn't think he could live with the pain anymore. He was just, as we would say, at the end of his tether. He was just desperate for anything. So I was a friend of the family, so I got called in. I said, is there anything that you can do to help? I said, I'm always willing to try. You can never do any harm by trying. So in reflexology, they teach you that if you work on the foot that's existing, and work on the hand on the side where the foot is missing. So I worked on his hand and on his foot that was still there. I gave him 2 or 3 treatments. Nothing really happened. Didn't seem to have much success.
Okay.
So I said, you know what, I'm going to do something, and you'll have to excuse me, but this is going to make me feel silly, but I'm going to work on your foot as if it was still here. So I'm going to work on your real foot and the energy foot that you're still feeling pain in as if it was still here. And I was kind of use humor to get through situations like that. So I was cracking lots of jokes and trying to cover over them. Because, I'm feeling stupid sitting here. I'm working on an imaginary foot. So I did the real foot, and I talked as I did my way through it. So now I'm working on the toe, and the toe represents the head, and now I'm working on the upper part of the foot, which represents your upper body, and then I'm working on the stomach reflexes, and I'm working on... So I talked all my way through the foot that was there.
Yes.
Then I went and I said, now I'm going to work on your other foot. And I said, and so I did it exactly the same movements on my hand. This time I'm actually doing it in the air, but I taught my way through it. And I spent a lot of time there, and I have to say I felt so stupid. But when I finished, I put both my hands on his feet, and I said, there, how was that then? And I sat waiting either for him to laugh or make some comment. And he said, my foot doesn't hurt anymore. And I said, oh, good, fine. Anything else I can do for you? And I got up and I walked out. I got out of the door, and I leapt up and down like a little child. I mean, I was so ecstatic that I'd had a result, and a result beyond my wildest dreams. Bearing in mind that I wasn't working on his foot at all. I was just working on the area where his foot would have been. I continued to give him several more treatments. I think I went back about another 5, 6, 7 times. He never ever needed to have morphine again. His phantom limb pain totally disappeared. He became a member of the Paralympics and went on to be a very successful athlete in the Paralympics, and his life was totally changed. I followed him for about 5 years, and he never ever had any more problems with it. I mean, an absolutely astounding experience for me, because I only did it because I was just playing Let's Play What If, and the result was so phenomenal.
Yes.
So when you say to me, how does reflexology work, that very experience throws aside all the fact that there must be physical reasons why it worked. It wasn't working on his nerves because his nerves weren't there. Yes. It wasn't working on the crystals that were in the foot because they weren't there. The only explanation that fits with that particular model is that it was the energy foot.
Yes.
The energy that surrounds the foot, the aura, if you will, that was still there.
Yes.
Because even now doctors don't have a real explanation for what phantom limb pain is, but a patient who has it will tell you it's absolutely extreme.
Oh, yes.
So, the energy explanation seems to fit very well with that, and I tell you, it changed his life, and that's why I do that. That's what this is all about, making a difference in people's lives and possibly saving his life.
Oh, absolutely. And what a risk. Like that's kind of as a therapist, you do want to help people, but you also want to do it in such a way that it inspires confidence. And yet when you have uncommon problems or problems that haven't been solved in conventional ways, sometimes you have to think unconventionally. And I think
absolutely. And the worst outcome was that I would look stupid. And, that wouldn't have been the first time in my life. So I was okay with that. The worst outcome was that I would look stupid, and the best possible outcome was that I would make a difference in his life.
Yes.
And whether you believe in luck or not, the outcome was the best possible outcome in that he's alive and well and living an active life, which conventional medicine had said he would not have.
Hi there, my name is Nina Wallinder, and I wanted to talk to you about Layers of Health. Layers of Health is a free online community dedicated to investigating holistic and alternative health options. These options can include physical health, mental and emotional health, business health, as well as your spiritual health. So you can join me as I discuss your health concerns with various experts, mentors, and leaders in their fields. And these interviews are offered for free live, as well as during special encore presentations. But if you find one that is particularly interesting to you, you can also purchase it. So you can join me at www.layersofhealth.com, and I'll see you on the calls.